dear children. I welcome you in today's English class. Let's start the story, The Strange Wrestling Match, where we left. Vijay Singh was happy and that he found a ghost. Even he boasted it that though you are a stupid ghost, but at least you are a ghost. That's why I am happy to see you. The ghost was speechless. Marshalling his ghostly wits, he made an attempt to look Vijay Singh scornfully in the eye. Scornfully meaning with hatred. Now, the ghost remained speechless. Generally, people used to scared with him. And Vijay Singh was announcing he was a stupid ghost. So he tried to make uh, Vijay Singh fearful by his scornful eyes, by his hateful eyes. Frankly, he said, you don't appear all that strong to me. Appearance can be deceptive, Vijay Singh said. Now the host said that you are not at all looking very strong to me. Then Vijay Singh said, maybe sometime appearances are not telling correct thing. They can be deceptive. They can disguise you. Take your own case, and your own case is also not different. You are looking as if you are very powerful, but you are not actually. So your appearance is not matching with your coward eyes. You claim to be Natwar, though actually you are a rascal of a ghost. If you doubt my strength, let me give you a demonstration of it. He said that as you pretended to be Natwar, my friend, but actually you are not Natwar. So this way you are pretending only some other, but you are not. So he said, now let me show you my strength. I want to do a demonstration in front of you. Vijay Singh picked up a piece of rock from the sand. Take this. He offered it to the ghost. Vijay Singh gave a piece of rock, a hard stone, from the nearby area, and he said, squeeze it hard, meaning squeeze it like lemon we are squeezing. It is filled with fluid. He told him that inside the rock there is some liquid, some fluid is there. So you should squeeze it like lemon. See if I am wrong. While the ghost tried to squeeze the rock first with one hand, then with both, Vijay Singh stately took out the egg from his pocket. See, one old lady had given Vijay Singh one egg. It was already told to you. So while the ghost was trying to squeeze the rock and trying to pull out the fluid, he tried with one hand, he tried with another hand, but he couldn't. So what happened? In between, Vijay Singh got some chance and took out his egg. And the eggshell also looked like a rock. And ghost could not notice it. Vijay Singh snatched the rock from the ghost and placed it between both hands and squeezed. Now what Vijay Singh did? Vijay Singh took out the rock from the ghost hand, and in between both his hand he had hidden the egg also and pretended to squeeze it. At once the yellow yolk oozed from around his fingers, and the crackling of the eggshells created the illusion of the stone being crushed. Then what happened? The fluid yellow part of egg started coming out in between his fingers, and the shells broken pieces. The sound also pretended in front of the ghost as if the rock was broken into pieces. The ghost was so astonished he did not notice Vijay Singh bending to clean his hands with sands and disposing of the telltale shell. And Vijay Singh later on wiped his hands with the nearby sand, and he kept the remaining part of the shell there, but ghost could not notice it. Vijay Singh then picked up another piece of rock and gave it to the ghost. Without a word, the ghost took it, felt it, and peered at it. Vijay Singh put his hand into his pocket to take out the lump of salt. Then Vijay Singh gave another rock to the ghost. This time the ghost did not say anything. He tried to look at the stone, and he tried again doing the same, squeezing it. Now Vijay Singh took out lump of salt from his pocket. "This is only a stone," protested the ghost, "and anyway it is too hard to see." Now the ghost pretended. He said, "No, this seems to be very hard. You are giving me a very hard stone." "Never heard of a ghost who can't see in the dark," remarked Vijay Singh. Vijay Singh said, "I have never seen a ghost who is unable to see in dark." "So you are a very strange ghost who is unable to see in dark. What stone which you hold in your hand contains salt? Crumble it and see." Again the ghost tried to crush the stone, but in vain. Vain meaning useless. Now Vijay Singh said, "Oh, can't you see? The stone what I have given, inside it salt is hidden. You should take out the salt out of it." He tried to do, used all his force to crush the stone, but everything was in vain. Everything was useless. He couldn't do this because it was the actual stone, not the lump of salt. He handed over the stone to Vijay Singh. The ghost was now beginning to doubt his ghostly powers. Now, the ghost gave it to Vijay Singh, and he was somewhere lost his confidence on his ghostly powers. He was thinking what was happening with him, what was the wrong thing happening. Thank you.